Hello and welcome to this week's Football Talk Podcast Part 2. And it's Part 2 because I've already recorded 15 minutes and it didn't record. So we're starting again. Hello, let me guess, Dave, are you in Thailand?
I am
Oh my
in
God,
Thailand.
Dave, let me think. You are in Thailand. You've been there for a couple of days. You've been in Bangkok. And now you're in Krabi, and you got there and you went out and you've eaten a bit of Thai food. Yes, is this right? But
This all rings a bell. Yeah.
Yes, and you've had some McDonald's. Yes, excellent
Had a
stuff.
McDonald's. Yeah.
Yes, but yeah, Dave is disrupting his holiday all in the name of Football Talk Podcast. Look at that dedication. That's brilliant to see. More dedication than Granit Xhaka.
It is like a lot of dedication. And it goes to show how much I don't mess it up when I redo the recording and the editing.
Yes, it shows.
I give Josh one job.
Yes, we recorded 15 minutes, and I realised that it was picking up merely my voice. So it seemed like I'm having a conversation with myself. Some of you may feel that was more valuable, but I felt like I should bring Dave's voice in. But obviously, this 15 minutes now is going to be so honed because we've had a trial run. So we will tackle the news. Let's talk about Granit Xhaka. Oh, yes. Granit Xhaka obviously had a tough time with it last week. His own fans were booing him. He got very upset, quite rightly, in my opinion. And he's sent out an apology. Well, he sent out a message which somewhat contains an apology somewhere in the footnote there. But I feel sorry for him, Dave. Do you feel sorry for him?
I do feel sorry for him. I think it's sort of 50-50. I think it's brought his end. End of time at the club. Are we not recording again?
No, I thought you better say get his end away.
No. He's. I think it's going to bring his time at the club to an end. And
you think it's done? He's done. He's gone, is he?
I think he's gone in January. Yeah. I think he was loan with a view to a permanent move. I reckon in January back to Germany.
Yeah, not a Premier League one, is it?
He should never be getting the abuse that he's been got. Like his family, it's been aimed at his family, and you should never message someone and say you hope their daughter gets cancer or whatever was said to him. And it's like the frustrations in it, the whole crowd on one man, and it was boiling point, flashpoint, and it went off. And so I understand both sides of it because he is pretty shit as well. Like he has been pretty shit for Arsenal. Yeah. But
all right, here's a spanner in works. If Emery, who have Arsenal got? Leicester? I've got a feeling I got Leicester soon. Yeah, we've got Leicester next, then it's the international break. What if Emery gets sacked? Does that make any difference to Xhaka, or does that just another nail in Xhaka's coffin? Because
I think it's another nail in. Yeah, it's another nail in because it wasn't Emery had no. It wasn't. None of that was directed at Emery. Xhaka wasn't having to go at Emery. Xhaka was having to go at the fans, and the fans weren't having to go at Emery, although they had been. They were at that point. They weren't. It was all aimed at Xhaka. So I don't see Emery keeping or losing his job. I don't think that affects what happens to Granit Xhaka.
Okay. So obviously Emery, I think I've got Emery's on borrowed time because obviously in the League Cup this week, and they had a couple of goal lead twice against Liverpool. They drew 5-5, then lost on penalties. It was a hell of a roller coaster ride, but now Emery is, and obviously yesterday they drew, and I feel like Arsenal, a bit of a tough time. But on the other hand, obviously Klopp is now in the quarterfinals of the League Cup. Is Liverpool side? Maybe. Yes, the thing. Will they? Do you reckon they'll abandon ship? Do you reckon it'll be Villa through to the semis because he'll pull the plug?
The latest is that they're going to move it to January. They're going to move the Liverpool-Aston Villa game to January. But I think if they don't move it, I think Liverpool might withdraw, yeah. Or they'll just play all their kids and say, we have to take the people to the Club World Cup.
Yeah, looking at the Liverpool side, I'm not sure he really wanted to go through. He was like, must be thinking, we actually, guys, I said, no, never mind, we're through anyway, all right. But other highlights of that match, Martinelli, 7-7. Do you think he is the next big thing, or do you think he is just riding a little purple patch and he'll just fade away and be another kind of misspent youth?
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough because he could be the next Francis Jeffers, or he could be like the next Michael Owen, a young prodigy that goes on to do really well. 7-7 can't be scoffed at. I think no matter who you're up against, 7-7 is very good. But I don't think he's played any Premier League minutes, and I think that'll be the key. If he can come on and be a foil for Aubameyang or Lacazette in the Premier League and score some goals, that'd be good. But I mean, if it was at United, if we had a young player coming through and scoring 7 and 7 in the backup competitions, I'd be very, very excited. Well, especially at this rate, because we need a striker.
You'd be well excited, yeah. You mentioned Francis Jeffers. This has just dawned on me. In the news, he was mentioned, Francis Jeffers has been fined for sending threatening messages to his wife.
Really?
He thought she was cheating on him, sent her loads of messages. One of them was that he was telling her her life was over. She would not need any of the clothes to collect because she would be in a coffin. It's like, whoa, Francis Jeffers.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, lovely guy, Francis Jeffers. Real fox in the box.
Yeah, it'd probably miss if he had a swing at her.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so that's our update on the weekly Francis Jeffers news. League Cup still United. United are through. With a scuffed shot.
Best free kick.
No,
best
scuffed
free
it. You meant to cross
Best
it.
free kick I've ever seen.
Best free kick you've ever seen?
No. Best free kick I've ever seen in English football. Sorry. I'll rephrase that.
Okay. Yeah, it was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Rashford credits
brilliant.
the ball. He said the lighter Carabao Cup ball was to help that.
Well, I would believe him because the amount of times he's tried that free kick with a Premier League ball, it's gone rose red. It's ridiculous. So, but yeah. Just don't. The thing is, it's going to go to his head now, and he's going to try it every single free kick from anywhere on the pitch. It's going to be dreadful. So
maybe, yeah. So, but you're through to the quarters. I mean, and then we'll also mention obviously City are through, and City are one of the luckiest teams of cup draws. This is their list of cup draws since 1819. Champions League: Lyon, Hoffenheim, Shakhtar, Schalke, Spurs, Dynamo Zagreb, Atalanta. FA Cup: Rotherham, Burnley, Newport, Swansea, Brighton, Watford. League Cup: Oxford, Fulham, Leicester, Burton Albion, Chelsea, Preston North End, Southampton, Oxford. There are not many top sides in those cup draws, are there?
No, that sounds suspiciously easy.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, and old heated balls might come in there, but pretty favourable cup draws. And to be fair, City do take this League Cup seriously. Don't they put out. I mean, Aguero scored movie. I mean, you wouldn't normally expect Aguero to be playing League Cup, but I feel like it's got a new lease of life as a League Cup. I mean, especially at 5-5, I feel like it's being taken more seriously than FA Cup at the moment.
I don't know if I agree about that. I think it's had a fresh breadth of life put into it, and I'm not sure if it's replaced the FA Cup. I think for Man United it should do because it looks like it's our only way into Europe. So
yeah,
but
oh dear, I can sense the disappointment in your voice every time Man United mentions Dave.
Do you know what? I went out of my way yesterday to go and watch Man United Bournemouth, and I really wish I hadn't.
Yeah,
took my Man United shirt to the pub.
Oh no, Dave!
I wore it. I didn't take it in like a handbag.
You were going to don it in case they actually did go a goal up. Oh, hello. Yeah.
So what a shit day of sport I had yesterday. Because we watched the England rugby and we lost that, and then I watched the Man United game and we lost that.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can fare better in this week's quiz. Yeah. You ready for it?
Well, yeah, I was expecting you to do the theme tune.
Well, I will be. Ooh la 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 la. Ooh la 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 la. Ooh la 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 la. It's quizzing time. How are you on goalkeepers? In particular,
absolutely terrible.
England goalkeepers. There have been 7 goalkeepers to make their England debut since 1990 who have gone on to win more than 10 caps. I want you to name those England goalkeepers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This might be super easy. Oh, David Seaman. No, he made his debut pre-1990.
Oh, Joe Hart.
Joe Hart, yes. One of 2 players who are still playing. Well, if Joe Hart's technically, is he playing?
Yeah. Is that count as playing?
Yeah.
Jordan Pickford.
Jordan Pickford out of the net.
Rob Green.
Whoa! You went for Rob Green. Nice. Yes.
David James. No, he would have played for
No.
Is that right?
You're right. David James is there.
Okay. There's got to be someone who's had like 10. Ben Foster's still playing, so he can't be on the list.
No, it's not about if they're still playing. It's just if they've accrued more than.
No, but you said there's only 2 still playing.
Oh, right. Yes, in that sense,
yeah.
yes, you're right. He's not on the list.
Paul Robinson.
Paul Robinson is there. That's 5 out of 7. We'll leave you there, Dave. You can mull over the other 2. But yeah. Ben Foster is an American actor. His roles including The Punisher, X-Men. So no, Ben Foster's not on the list. So way off there, Dave.
But should he have been on the list?
Oh, I mean, he's an actor. I don't know if he was. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Let's move on to yesterday's football, and we'll start with the game you so specially found time in your busy holiday schedule to watch. Dave, hit me. 1-0 Bournemouth.
Shit.
Sorry.
Fucking shit.
I want to just sorry. Today's derbies are sponsored by Mercurial Talents. Almost every derby that I mention is a Mercurial Talent. So this is the George Best derby. I think we can both agree Mercurial Talent.
Yes, very nice, but a very shit performance from my Man United team.
Yeah, I agree.
I put a tweet out after the game when I was a number of beers into the evening, and I want to give Ollie support, and I will always back the manager. I backed Mourinho and I didn't want him in. I backed Ole. I will back Ollie, and I didn't want him in. But I can't see what the plan is that we're playing towards. It's like Unai Emery at Arsenal. I can't see what the plan is. We were told the plan would be youth, and we were told the plan was going to be counter-attacking, pressing football, but then we defend really deep, and the gap between the defence and the midfield is far too big. And then we play with 2 holding midfielders against a team that hasn't scored in 3 games, and then obviously go and score against us.
I must admit, your midfield trio was like coming to a Sunderland team near you. Christ,
yeah,
that is. Oh.
But Scott McTominay and Fred have played well together, but I don't understand Andreas Pereira. I just don't get it. He shouldn't be a number 10 in the Premier League at all. How he's got a cap for Brazil, I do not know.
How many other sides do you reckon he'd get into in the Premier League? Do you reckon who would snap him up? 5 sides?
Newcastle. Newcastle would probably have him. Norwich. Not many. Yeah, not many. I think he would struggle to get into a lot of starting teams in the Premier League. And I think, is it Brandon Williams came on and he looked the most he looked the most lively player, and he was probably up there for what was like Man United man of the match, and he played like 6 minutes. It's just embarrassing. The lack of creativity is just so obvious to see. And then, everyone's like, oh, yeah, we've got injuries. Paul Pogba's out. But then when Paul Pogba plays, everybody moans that he's inconsistent. So we shouldn't be banking on Paul Pogba. Martial and Rashford in the League Cup and the game where he came on against Norwich and they linked up together looked amazing. Then you put them against Bournemouth, they looked shit. It's just so frustrating. And the defence, 140 million or something we've paid for that defence that we've got. And it's just... The goal was horrendous.
Yeah.
You could blame Wan-Bissaka because he doesn't like to go with his head, but then he's a fullback, not a centre-back. Lindelof was miles away looking at the ball. Harry Maguire looked like he was running with a towel around his waist.
I'd recommend the listeners rewatch a highlight of that goal and then just each time you watch it, focus on one of those 3 players mentioned because they're all doing absolutely Lindelof is super funny to watch. He's like, and he's like, what are you doing, Lindelof? Like, you watch it back, you think you've made actually nothing there.
The only person, when conceding that goal from the back 4, who is trying to do a job is Wan-Bissaka. And you can tell he looks uncomfortable trying to be a centre-back. And it was just horrendous. It was absolutely horrendous. There was no, we started okay, and then urgency died. Lingard just literally take him to a farm and make him into glue. He's awful. Like, dreadful. I just move on. Well done,
right.
Bournemouth.
Well done, Bournemouth.
I'm with you though. I'm not buying into the Eddie Howe train. I'm with you. I think he should have, when they went 1-0 up, he should have been able to tactically take advantage of Man United even more.
Oh, because Bournemouth they did not even hold on to the ball. It's like United lacked urgency, but Bournemouth weren't exactly controlling things, and it was
no.
And it was pointed out to me the other day what players of Bournemouth played Bournemouth have actually developed. Like, who's gone on? They haven't sold anyone for big money, as far as I'm aware. He's not developed
No.
his players and sold them for profit. They've just kind of been. He's got a team that's working, but they're not developing as players. And if you don't develop as players, people are going to catch you up. If you stand still, people overtake you. But we don't love Eddie Howe here, but we do love mercurial talents. So we'll go on to the Jermaine Pennant derby, Arsenal versus Wolves, and this backs up my Unai Emery pressure building. Jose Mourinho soon to be on the bench at Arsenal. Do you think?
It's an interesting one. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know. I can't give you a yes or no answer for Mourinho on the Arsenal bench. I just can't see it. I think it would be a decent fit, but I can't see it.
I think it'd
cannot see it.
Because for me, the Arsenal, if they have faith in Emery, they need to hold out because they just need their fullbacks back in, their first choice fullbacks back playing. So Bellerin and Tierney both playing, both bombing on, and then because that front three of if you have Ozil, Lacazette, and Aubameyang, that is really class. I mean, you haven't got any width, so they've got the width from the fullbacks.
Yeah,
and then centre mid is kind of you lose Ramsey from that, and it's a bit. I'm not a big Torreira fan. Guendouzi I do quite like, but still quite young. A lot of pressure on his shoulders. Ceballos maybe only here this year, and then the centre defence is a bit weak as well. But I think Mourinho will do well with that. But yesterday again, I was confused by Emery. It's like you're a goal up, so you take off Torreira, your defensive midfielder, and bring on a young winger. When you go to 1-1, they don't bring Pepe on; they bring Kolasinac on. It's like I don't really understand that. And they got outplayed. 23 shots from Wolves to Arsenal's 10.
I mean, it's like I said when I was ranting about Man United again. It's I don't understand what Emery's game plan is. What are they working towards? Like Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs, even under Pochettino. You sort of know what. Yeah, but you could see there was a game plan, and you can see that Pochettino will probably try and implement another one. Even Mourinho had a game plan. It was defensive. It was shit, but he had a game plan. But Emery's similar to Solskjaer. He can't seem to decide if he wants to be a pressing team or a sit back and make a block of four, two lines of four, or it's just. And I hate that as because that's their job to know how they want to play. So,
shout out to Wolves. Wolves are 6 draws from 11 Premier League games now. We kind of opposite to the Spurs last year. But obviously Bolly's out injured now. He's by far their best centre back, and it's going to be a big loss for them. So I think it'll be an interesting. I don't know how long he's out for, but an interesting period in his absence. How they
fractured his ankle, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he had a surgery in his fibula. I think so. I don't think it's going to be a near return. So it'll be interesting to see how they cope without. But I suppose it's not a bad result yesterday. 1 all the way at Arsenal. But all right, we'll move on. Next mercurial talent, we'll go to Joe Cole, Villa versus Liverpool, and I think I can speak on behalf of all people here who are Liverpool fans. Fuck you, Liverpool! Christ, honestly, it's just fucking insane. It's like, are we living in like Klopp's mind or something? And he's just got I don't understand it. It's just obscene what they're doing.
It's their year, isn't it? It's their year. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah, it's such a big win for them because if they'd lost, that would have been 3 points gap between them and City, and then they obviously play each other next week. So City would have had the chance to go top, and that would have been such a big statement. Now, obviously, they can't go top. They can still go to within 3 points, but that would have been a real big statement. Going, you had your lead. We're actually already back at you, and we're sucking you in here. Another close VAR call for offside with Firmino.
Yeah, it was. Letter of the law.
Similar to Heung-min Son, isn't it? I have a feeling that if this stays, and this is going to be, I think it's just people are going to accept that. All right, it's marginal like that, and then the system will improve, the use of it improve. But it's ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. I obviously don't feel as aggrieved. Being a Spurs fan, I felt aggrieved about someone. We didn't get a result. Liverpool get a result here in the end, which somewhat papers over those cracks. But I think it's going to take time for fans to adjust. They are marginally calling offside calls like that.
Yeah, Yeah, I think so.
Um,
Lampard's made a big fuss of it recently, hasn't he, as well? We'll probably come on to it. Yeah, but to say they had a meeting about it only being on obvious errors, and it seems to be being brought in for everything. So,
a massive shout out to Trent Alexander-Arnold. That man is quickly becoming one of the best right backs in the world. He's got 16 assists in his last 31 games from right back.
Yeah, ridiculous.
I would say though, I'm a bit surprised at how Liverpool. Watching them a bit more and more and more. It's like crossing is not an efficient way of getting goals, but they seem just purely by volume of crosses they go for it, and it's like they have no creativity in midfield. Their creativity comes from fullbacks, and then obviously their front three is immense. But it's a unique system they've got going. To be honest with you, it's not. It doesn't seem like it should be that sexy football, but it does. It seems to be quite like invigorating.
It's got me, and that just made me think: is that what Klopp did at Dortmund? I'm trying to think of his central midfield at Dortmund, but he had Sahin, didn't he?
Yeah, Nuri Sahin. Yeah.
And I can't remember of any standout fullbacks they had at Dortmund. Piszczek may have still been there at that time.
Yeah, has it been? I want to say Liechtenstein, but I can't remember.
Yeah. Anyway, but it's working for them, and it's very annoying.
It's working for them, and Villa have been a bit of a strange one. Villa and Sheffield United seem to have swapped in my mind. I thought Villa were doing well, Sheffield United weren't. Obviously, Sheffield United won yesterday, we'll get on to, but Villa are now in 16th, 11 points from 11, 5 points below Sheffield United and 10 places below them. It's not going. I mean, it's going okay. 11's kind of keeping your head just above water form, but Grealish was out yesterday, which is a loss to them, but. They're not going as well as the amount of money they spent. They probably would have hoped to be in Sheffield United's position, wouldn't they? Or probably they would have.
Well, they definitely would prefer to be in Sheffield United's position. But again, I think there's 3 teams that are worse than Aston Villa in this league. So, and I think they'll be safe.
Yes, indeed. All right. We'll go to remember, this is Mercurial Talents derbies. We'll go to the Leroy Lita derby. Brighton versus Norwich. And, Norwich fans, are you now missing the championship? Because fear not, it's coming to a season near you.
They do seem to be in a lot of trouble. They just seem to be falling very, very rapidly.
And I know they've had problems with injuries, but looking at yesterday's match, it just seemed a little bit. I don't know, like they didn't really give a shit. I mean, you're playing Alex Tete at centre back. Alex Tete had already been relegated to Norwich previously, but the injuries have taken their toll. They didn't really invest at all, did they, in the summer? I think it was very much how when Burnley got promoted the first time, initially. Don't spend the money. We'll just do what we can. Hopefully stay up. And it just seems like I don't think that's going to change in January. I don't see them sacking a manager. I don't see them splurging. I think they're just going to ride the season out, and whatever will be, will be.
Sort of, cash in the Premier League TV money and fight for another day.
And keep that squad together. It's good enough to get promoted previously. It'll be good enough again. But maybe would Pookie think differently? But I'm starting to write them off. Yeah.
Shout out to Graham Potter. I think he's doing a good job at Brighton. Seems to have them working to a philosophy that he wants to play. And
absolutely, that's
it's
exactly
gone a lot better than I predicted. So
I felt that when we and Spurs played them, that there is definitely a philosophy there, playing towards it, and they're scoring goals. It's really nice, and I'm interested to see Yakambash come back in and see if he can do business. But an honourable mention to Steve I think it's Alzat. Signed from, I want to say Leyton Orient or Swindon. Lovely, absolute baller, lovely technical player. Needs a bit more end product, but he looks lovely on the ball. So I'll be interested to see how he progresses under Potter.
Yeah.
Brighton have got. I think I've got a bit of a difficult run coming up.
It's all right. They're playing us. It'll be fine.
Yeah. So they got 15 points from 11. The next 4 are United, Leicester, Liverpool, and Arsenal. So even if they won't, but if they were to lose all 4 of those, that's still survival for them. That'll still be 15 from 15. So I think they're going okay at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah. Very true.
All right, and we'll move on to the Isle Berkovic derby, City versus Southampton. And
fucking hell, right? Kyle Walker, I took him out of my fantasy team because they've been playing Cancelo.
Yeah, yes.
And Walker played in the League Cup, and I was like, "There's no way he'll play him in this." Fuck, he went and scored the winner. What a prick!
Yeah, I imagine Liverpool fans think he's a prick as well. Southampton. Yeah, I mean, it was going to be a horrible week for them anyway. Lose 9-0 and played Man City away twice, but from losing 9-0 to almost getting something from a champions, that's pretty impressive. I think it's probably as good as in your heart of hearts any fan would have hoped for. I don't think they would have expected to get any points from any result from this.
Do you think the factor that yes they lost but they didn't get embarrassed has actually bought Hasenhüttl some more time? Because they looked okay. They looked pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, their goal came from Ederson mistake, but it was still a goal nonetheless. But yeah, I think he's got some time in his hands. It'll be interesting, obviously, in a couple of weeks his international break. So I think we've got a few changes to get there. But I don't see Hasenhüttl being one of them because Southampton got Everton next. So I mean, obviously, I don't want to say too much about how easy or hard that result is because Spurs are yet to play them. But I think that could be winnable for Southampton away at Everton at home. So. Just a little bit of a shout out to the Etihad. It actually sounded like I had a good atmosphere for once, which has probably got something to do with the fact they weren't like 4-0 up after 20 minutes. Whereas when that's the case, you're like, well, what's the point of the fans being here? Might as well be a behind closed doors match, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I
mean, it's never sold out, is it? So they can keep trying.
Oh, look at you. I can sense you being a little bit smug there, Dave, but...
Yeah, I've got a massive grin on my face.
We get all the fans. All right, okay. Now, I'm not sure if you know of this player or know much about this player, but I remember him completely turning a game. I think it was Spurs versus Burnley back in the probably would have been the Worthington Cup or something like that. Glenn Little derby. Do you remember Glenn Little?
I remember Glenn. I remember the name. Yeah. I don't have any standout memories of it.
He was a lovely, technically gifted player, but so blooming slow. I put him in the same bracket as the kind of the Lee Trundles of this world, the kind of lower league legend, I'd say.
Seen him play live, haven't we, Lee Trundle?
We have seen Lee Trundle play live. Yeah, when we won tickets to European football.
Football, yeah. He was dire.
Yes, he wasn't great. This was Sheffield United v Burnley. Sheffield United smashed them 3-0, and the surprise here is that there was 3 goals. I don't care for which team, but 3 goals in total, because I think Sheffield United are on a record of running at kind of under 2 goals a game. It's just, it's been pretty tight either way.
For a team that sort of builds themselves on a good, solid defensive base like Burnley, man, they were shit at defending the back post in this game.
They were, weren't
Lundstrom twice.
And at fullback, they got popped around at fullback, didn't it? It was Matthew Loughton. It's like, wow, you're chasing shadows there, mate. It was, I think Sheffield United I think Burnley probably thought, you know what, we don't have to be our usual self here. We can kind of open up a little bit here, and it's like, nope.
Yeah.
Stick to what you know. Sheffield United, I mean, we're up in 6th now, which is crazy. You would have thought that after. I mean, I don't know why we never learn, really. Like. But yeah, undefeated in 4, away at Spurs next, so I will be disappointed there, no doubt, because I think they're just in such a positive moment, and Spurs obviously still play Everton. I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm not looking forward to that. Sheffield United. But Burnley 3 losses on the bounce now, and they play West Ham next. Well, unless you have anything else to say, we'll move on to West Ham match.
No, just move on, mate. I think Burnley losing 3-0. To Sheffield United is enough of a statement in itself.
Yeah. So. The Nobby Solano derby. Who loves a bit of Nobby, eh?
Best Peruvian to play in the Premier League.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah,
I can't think of another one. So
he for me is my kind of knowledge of Peru. Yeah. So, what do you know about Peru? Well, I know its capital is Lima. I know it's in South America, and also know that Norberto Solano is from there. So, thank you.
Also, a keen trumpet player, Nobby Solano.
Well,
there you go.
Bet he was.
Right.
Aren't we all in our spare time?
West Ham.
Oh my goodness! At half time, I thought I'd be waking up to the news the next day of Pellegrini being sacked.
Yeah.
And now I think he's bought himself another week. But I tell you for why, he is definitely, and I'm pretty sure of this because he's definitely going to be sacked in the international break. Do you know why, Dave?
Why is that?
Because West Ham's first match after the international break is against Spurs. So obviously they're going to sack him and have the new manager bounce against Spurs, and Spurs aren't going to fucking win it. That's why it's going to happen. Yeah.
Oh,
Newcastle ran absolute riot in that first half. I'm like, if Alan St. Maximin could actually score 1-1, it would have been horrific for them.
yeah.
Isn't he a bit exciting to watch? Isn't he? It's fun to watch, isn't he, St. Maximin?
I think it was Shiv, obviously listener to the show. I follow him on Twitter, and I'm pretty sure he tweeted and said, what Wolves should do is just sign St. Maximin off Newcastle and just play him and Adama Traore, because literally every defence would be so scared.
Well, I'm perpetually confused. Like, what is going to happen? The goalkeeper wouldn't be scared, but all the defenders would be like, "Oh my goodness!" Yeah.
But it sums Newcastle up, doesn't it? That they dominated that first half so much, but it was still two defenders that scored.
Yeah.
That is typical Newcastle.
Yeah, and it's Bruce Ball, isn't it? Stevie Bruce.
Yeah.
Wow. They managed to really kind of put themselves under some pressure though. West Ham coming back into it, but West Ham have got 2 points from Bournemouth, Palace, Everton, Sheffield United, and Newcastle. 3 of those are at home. It's just, you chuck in that they lost 4-0 to Oxford. That gives you a bad run of form.
That is dreadful. Yeah, that is absolutely dreadful.
And they're away at Burnley next, and away at Burnley, I can see it. Yeah, he's gone. I can see it. I have no idea who they bring in.
No, it's a tough one. Yeah. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
Would you like that, would you?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not Ole out. I do want to support Ole, but he's just not fit.
If someone wants to take him.
Yeah. Anyway, enough. Don't depress me. I'm on holiday.
Okay, yes, sorry, yeah. We'll move on to... Now, this is not a mercurial talent, but when I saw this player had played for Watford and Chelsea, I could not resist, all right? Now, I'm going to absolutely make a hash of a pronunciation here, but this will... Memories of Football Manager for this. Yves Makambu Makamale.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yves Makambu Makamale. Didn't he used to play... Was he a goalkeeper?
Was a goalkeeper. I've got a feeling he had like a brother
Chelsea
who was a
youth.
defender. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and he did have a brother. Yeah, he did have a brother.
Yeah.
Pierre Makambu Makamale, I think.
Pierre, was it? Oh, hello, Pierre.
Something like that.
La-di-da.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yves and Pierre. Very swanky. So that is the derby first match. But Chelsea, the most impressive thing about Chelsea is that Jorginho and Kovacic are running the midfield, and they're doing really well.
Yeah. Oh, Lampard's got them playing well, and it's weird because Jorginho seems to suit something else that isn't Sarri ball, which no one thought he could do. So
yeah, he's come out from under that stone and he's actually whipped it an assist as well. I mean, he's just loving it.
Yeah.
And, highlight of the match here. Almost highlight of the match. The highlight match for me was last minute, obviously. Kepa saving from Ben Foster, the actor, from his header, and then the fact that the final whistle then blows and they both embrace. That goalkeepers' union is strong, isn't it?
Yeah, it would have been much better if he had scored.
Oh yeah, yes.
Because a goalkeeper scoring at any time in the game is amazing. A goalkeeper scoring in the last minute is incredible.
I could have updated my quiz question, couldn't I? But,
you could have done actually.
But, you successfully, because there's not been too many goalkeeper goal scorers in the Premier League. But Watford still without that win, 11 games in. Now, obviously, I've written off Norwich already. Are we writing off Watford now?
I'm still not convinced I'm going to write them off. I still think they just need a good run of form, and it might happen.
Yes, they do need a good run of form, Dave. Oh, thanks, Jeff.
Yeah. That's what people listen for, that sort of insight. But
they just need to win some games. I mean, do it, all right?
Just put the ball in the back of the net. What are they doing?
They can't score. But so they're currently 2 points off Norwich and 5 points off Everton with game in hand. So 6 points maybe off Villa. minus 17 goal difference, the joint worst in the league, and that's with Southampton losing 9-0.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Spurs still didn't manage to beat them. So brilliant. Yeah, I still, I'm not quite writing them off yet either. But I wouldn't be. I also wouldn't be surprised if they sack manager again in the season.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I think the thing with Watford is they need a goal scorer and they need someone who can control the ball that isn't Andre Gray. I mean, it doesn't help. There was so many times that he had a ball like fizzed into his chest, and then he went to try and control it with his knee, and it went out for a throw.
Yeah, I mean they've missed Troy Deeney, haven't they? He's been out. He's a bit of a talisman for them, absolute tool, but a talisman for them nonetheless. But Chelsea 7 wins from their last 7 away games, looking good. And briefly, VAR. Well, it's not a penalty, is it, Dave?
It's not. Well, it is because he does kick his foot. It was because he does kick his foot, but it's not. This is what Lampard was on about, wasn't it? It's not a clear and obvious error.
Yeah, it's not.
That's the problem. And VAR was told that it would change clear and obvious errors, and that's my contention with it. But he did touch his foot. He did kick it.
He did, yeah. But it's just, I don't know, especially with Deulofeu being the player, I don't know. Yeah, it was super harsh, but again, it didn't make much difference to the outcome of the game. Got Watford a goal for once. But do you know what? As we're talking about Premier League, we'll go into a question asked by a listener this week, and then we'll go and finish off your quiz. So the question asked by Gajo on YouTube was if each of the top 6, minus Chelsea, because obviously Chelsea can't sign anyone, could have one signing in January to realistically improve their team, who would it be and why? And we'll kind of go for positions here. Where do you think they need to strengthen positions? And if names come, they come. So we'll go from the top down. So Liverpool. Liverpool. Do you think they could sign anyone to improve them? Do you think that they could actually do anything?
Yeah, I think, but it's not to improve that first 11. It's to be a better option than Divock Origi.
He's a weird player, isn't he? He's just...
Yeah, I would go winger to replace Divock.
A big money signing, do you reckon it would have to be? Or do you reckon there's got something...
I don't think it'll be a big money signing in terms of money they pay the other club. I think it'll have to be big money in terms of wages because they know they're being signed to sit on the bench.
Yes. So, yeah. I mean, because Liverpool obviously very stacked in kind of that central midfield area. It's for me the most important position on those sides are fullback, and at the moment they don't. They play Milner, can kind of swap between the two. But if they can get someone kind of who could, because you miss Trent Alexander out that side or Andy Robertson for an extended period of time, it's going to. I think both combined have got like 7 assists this season already, and obviously got 20 odd assists last year. I think if they can sign someone at fullback, but again, it's the fact that their first 11 is so tied up. I mean, the only where it isn't really tied up is centre back, but they're kind of blessed with decent level options as a second choice, like Gomez, Matip, Lovren, maybe. I can't see where they'd get any value for money in a signing. So I almost think their first 11's complete, and then it's really tough signing a backup who knows they're going to be a backup. It's like Spurs signing a centre forward.
Exactly. Agreed.
I think it's somehow a little bit more clear cut when it comes to City, though.
Centre back.
Yeah, it is definitely a centre back.
100%.
And that can be big money because I feel like they do. There's definitely room in that side for it to be a long term. Like Laporte, when he comes back, would be that. But Stones, I've not ever been fully convinced he can easily be there as a kind of rotating centre back.
I think Fernandinho is now ahead of Stones as a centre back option.
Quite possibly, and then Otamendi's talked about kind of moving back to kind of Spanish-speaking area. But I think maybe one of the kind of Leipzig centre backs,
Upamecano.
Yeah, Upamecano, Konate. Yeah, one of those two. Yeah. Just that kind of young centre back to really push them on. But
could you see them going for someone like a Koulibaly from Napoli?
I just think Koulibaly's just now getting that wrong side. I think he's now, he's 28. I think.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think that wouldn't really give them much value for money. Yeah, he's 28. It'll be 29 in June. So yeah, he's. Yeah, I just don't think it would. I don't think I can see him moving now. It's a bit too. He's a bit too old now, isn't he? For someone because of
That's
being.
right.
I mean, Man United would.
Man United will panic. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on. I mean, I think a similar answer for. We'll move to Arsenal now.
See, I've put central midfielder for Arsenal.
A kind of Ramsey replacement.
I think Ramsey / Xhaka replacement.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be quite short in central mid. You've got Guendouzi, Torreira, Ozil, but he's much more attacking, obviously. And then you're looking at the kids, and I think they will need to go and buy a central midfielder who can sort of dominate the midfield, and they're hard to find at the moment. So I think big money central midfield signing for Arsenal.
Yeah, I think they covered up full back and up front and in goal. The other option was centre back, but obviously they've signed David Luiz, so it'd be intriguing to see if it was Mourinho to come in. Did Mourinho manage Luiz at Chelsea? He would have done.
Yes, yeah,
effectively.
I think he got some of the best performances out of him.
Yeah,
maybe.
So
he sold him, didn't he? Signed him.
Oh, okay.
David Luiz.
I mean, obviously they got Socrates. Now I feel like Socrates would be a Mourinho player because he's a bastard. I think that would. Well, yeah. So I can see that centre mid.
If Mourinho goes to Arsenal, I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to get Matic from Man United.
True.
Because Mourinho loves Nemanja Matic. Yep. So.
And he's out. Is he out of favour or injured at the moment?
He's out of favour. He's just really slow and shit. So.
Yeah. Well, we'll go then to Man United. Where would you like to see some strengthening done in the summer? In January, sorry.
Centre back, centre midfield, left back, right back, manager, centre forward.
I'll take your last answer there because I think it will be the centre forward position.
No, I think actually what we need is a central midfielder. We need a creativity central midfielder.
Okay.
I want a centre forward, but I think the team more urgently needs a creative central midfielder.
Okay, so you're playing 4-3-3. The three, you'd play Pogba, this creative person, and McTominay, would you?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not quite a number 10, like a number 8, kind of.
Like a Bruno Fernandes sort of player.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll move in on to Spurs. For me, it would be a right back. And
yes, 100%. That's what I've got written down.
I would, take a gun and shoot Aurier in the head and melt him down. No, sorry, that's brutal. I would just leave him out to pasture. But yeah, a right back who in the mould of like Kyle Walker. I've missed him ever since he's gone. Just to that energy up the right hand side, the pace to drive us forward, give us some width, and it's just really sad to see we haven't got it. I like Kyle Walker Peters, but I just feel that he's just, I don't know, he's in a favour, out of favour. Hopefully I'll see a Kyle Walker Peters. I mean, ideally I'll see Kyle Walker Peters and Ryan Sessegnon line up against Everton. So it won't happen because Sessegnon's not yet played a single minute, so I won't start.
I was going to say, what's happened to him?
Injured. Been injured ever since we signed him. Signed him injured, I think.
Yeah,
it's always a good start. A bit of a Kim Kallstrom one. But yeah, it's. Can you see it? So on the other side of things, can you see it being a big January? Will we be sitting around on transfer deadline day at the end of January with lots to talk about? Do you reckon?
I think so. I think it could be quite a busy one, yeah, because I think it's going to be... I can see quite a lot of maybe loan deals happening in January, like loan with a view to buy in the summer. I think it will be relatively busy. I think there'll be quite a few ins, yeah.
Especially as it is a Euro summer, so obviously there'll be players who will be wanting to make that move to make sure they get into their national team in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we'll move back to quiz. Obviously, unfortunately, we've had to skip on the Wikifiles this week due to my error in not recording. But we'll make sure it is a bumper Wikifiles next week that keep you salivating.
Well, I don't know because you're recording again. So
yeah, I've learnt my lesson, Dave. Learnt my fucking lesson, haven't I?
Okay,
yeah.
Good.
I mean, this podcast at the time obviously recording isn't released yet, so maybe it'll never get released. Maybe we'll never hear the light of day. Okay, let's move back to the quiz. I challenged Dave to name the 7 goalkeepers, the 7 English goalkeepers, the 7 English goalkeepers who made their debut before 1990, the 7 English goalkeepers who made their debut before 1992, who then went on to win 10 or more caps. Right, Dave has named me David James, Paul Robinson, Robert Green, Joe Hart and Jordan Pickford. 2 are remaining. Dave?
And do you know what? I've only got 2 names written down, so it's
all or nothing.
Guts and glory. All or nothing. I've gone Nigel Martin.
Nigel Martin, spelt with a Y. He's in there.
Purely because Euro 96, he was in the squad and he must have played some of the warm-up games and stuff like that. So, and then I've gone with the old, I think we mentioned him on a podcast maybe last week.
Sounds hopeful.
With the old bounce over the shoulder shot.
Oh, yeah.
Tim Flowers.
Tim Flowers.
Yes.
We mentioned him a few weeks ago, and I also mentioned him the other week because he was in a derby. I think it was I want to say Southampton, Leicester, derby. Yes, it would have been.
Yeah.
Well, that works perfectly.
Yeah.
Yes. Well done, Dave. These 7
Yes.
goalkeepers, and I mean, is that
What about Ian Walker?
Ian Walker? No, I don't think he was ever really in favour. He was never a good trainer. Was Ian Walker?
Okay.
He was always a reasonably talented. No, 4 England caps.
Oh, that's surprisingly low, actually. Thought you
Yeah.
meant more than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Yes, another quiz nailed.
another quiz nailed. Did a lot better than your side did this week.
Oh, cheers,
But
thanks.
we're back to Champions League football this week, so you got Europa League football. Okay, all right.
Yeah, cheers, Josh. And now I've
Oh.
got to go and meet my friend out in Krabi and be
Oh,
depressed.
cheers! I'm crying now.
Yeah, son's crying. Cheers.
Right, yeah. Well, that brings an end to this week's podcast. Unless you have any other business, Dave.
No, but come on, Saudis, buy Man United. Woo!
I mean, yeah, it couldn't get much worse than your current ownership. So, apart from them being from Saudi Arabia, obviously.
Yeah, but yeah, I could look past that.
Oh, you're just like the rest of them. Well,
I know.
if that is that, you can obviously find us at Football Talk on Twitter. But remember,
There's no A in football.
there's no A in football. There is an A on our YouTube channel, on SoundCloud, and on Spotify. We can obviously give us a watch or listen. But until that time is near and done, until next week, it was going brilliantly. But for goodness sakes, just give us a like, give us a subscribe, chat to us, talk to us. We're lonely. Well, I am because Dave's in Thailand. He's not here. But nice. We'll speak to you next week. Bye bye.